in town and live in the area that worked for us. They were thrilled. We're just so proud to be part of this effort. I want to congratulate your committee, the amount of people involved, the work that was done here, Mary Ann, all the work you've done, the council. Congratulations. You folks are just very impressive in everything you've done. And John, you stole my story. I was really hoping to tell that story myself. It was so cute because John knew I'd said yes and Mary Ann wasn't aware of it, so she kept pitching. It really did make us laugh because he's like trying to cut her off, and she's like, oh, look at this picture, look at that picture. So it was a great time for us to participate. You're having a great day here today. Congratulations again to everyone involved, to the town itself, and for many years. Your children are going to love this place, and we're happy to help. So congratulations.
Just so you know, Columbia donated $60,000 to this park. While we're doing these shout-outs, I also want to recognize the former executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, Hank Foskey, who helped us a great deal and has retired to South Jersey, but came all the way back up here today for this. And I want to thank you and Grace for coming up today. Okay. Next, I'm going to call on Mary Ann to come up. So Mary Ann, I know you're not nervous, so come on up.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. And I know we keep adding people, but I did want to say, I'd give a shout out to Mark Lycan, director of our Children's Therapy Center here in Fair Lawn. And his therapist guided us in this project and gave us some advice on how equipment we could add to enhance sensory perceptions for children. So thank you. And also a shout out to Saul Rothman, who's our liaison from the Knights of Pythias, and his wife Jerry. And to save time, I did a little brochure that explains the history of the playground, so please be sure to pick that up. On behalf of the Fair Lawn ADA Committee, I would like to thank you for joining us on this special occasion. Since October is Disabilities Awareness Month, it is fitting that we celebrate this ribbon cutting today. The Fair Lawn ADA Committee believes in access for all, and we especially believe that children with physical disabilities should not be denied access to something so beloved as the local playground. It is that belief that led us to build this 100% inclusionary playground, which enables all children, regardless of their level of physical ability, to play side by side in a safe and fun environment. You were invited here today because it was through your support and because of your generous donations that our committee was able to raise $101,700 to complete the wonderful playground project that you see behind me. But that's not all. The committee had a wish list item, a popular piece of equipment called the Weesaw, which had to be cut due to budget constraints. 2 weeks ago, we learned that Landscape Structures will be having this item as a display piece at the League of Municipalities Convention in November, and it will be available for purchase afterwards at substantial savings. This was a great opportunity, but with one remaining donation specifically earmarked for a piece of equipment still to be installed, we did not have enough money on hand to commit to this purchase. Since we had a month to go until the convention, the ADA committee decided to raise some additional funds and see what happens. Within 4 days, we received 2 checks totaling $2,900, and shortly thereafter learned of 2 future pledges totaling $3,000, enough to put a sold sign on this exciting piece of play equipment that will be added after the conference. Our new grand total, including these pledges, $107,700. I would say that is proof positive that Fair Lawn believes in this initiative. In closing, I just wanted to say that this was truly a community-wide project with many wonderful volunteer organizations, businesses, and residents coming on board. It is my hope that every time you drive by this park, which in my mind will now be thought of as Berdan Grove Community Park, You will feel pride in knowing that you played an important role in making this exciting and essential project a reality. Thank you again for being here and for supporting the initiatives of the Fairlawn ADA Committee. We have a presentation, as John mentioned, as our mayor mentioned earlier. Steve Weinstein has resigned from the committee recently. Steve joined our committee in 2010 as a council liaison, and it was Steve's invitation that got me involved with this committee, and I'm so glad that you asked me to be part of it. It's been very, very rewarding. In 2012, Steve and I became co-chairs, and we've been co-chairs since that time until August, when, for personal reasons, Steve felt it was time to leave. Our committee did not want him to go without recognizing him. So Steve, if you come up, I have a plaque for you, and it says, presented to Stephen Weinstein, in recognition of his outstanding leadership as co-chair of the Fairlawn ADA Committee, January 2012 to August 2014, and for his dedication and hard work towards achieving access for all within our community, with the grateful appreciation of the Fairlawn ADA Committee.
I wasn't going to say something, then I was, and I hope I don't get choked up. But anyway, what's really interesting about this, it wasn't a cause that brought a community together. It was a cause that the community was already together. It was just that everybody was doing things in different directions. And I guess when this ADA committee was formed some 15, 20 years ago, I think it was Mayor Tedeschi, and then the ball was carried by Diane Albarella for many years. We needed direction, and the direction came. Diane introduced us to Jim Feeberry, so I want to give him some credit as well. He mentored us, and we came together, and I said, who would be the right person to chair this committee? And sure enough, it was Mary Ann. And she's truly carried the ball. There was a lot of steps along the way, going to the freeholders for money and, you know, saying the right things, and we had the freeholders working with us, obviously, and the county executive. But it really, really was the most fulfilling project that I've ever been on since I was on the council for a little over 10 years, actually 10 years and 3 months. But anyway, my wife was counting. But anyway, but the one thing I do want to say, we acknowledge a lot of people here, but I think our legacy is the one thing we didn't mention, and that's why I really wanted to speak. It's our high school kids. They were the leaders from the beginning. I mean, we're talking about 3-4 years of high school kids who constantly raise money through their marathon and other baking, cooking, bagels, and all whatever they did. I think they raised over $10,000. Right? So what I want to say, when you hear about all these things today, about these things in Sayreville, whatever, that's not happening, thank God, here in Fairlawn. And I think it's a credit to the leaders, the council, the Board of Ed, the teachers, but most importantly, the parents. And those kids came together for this playground as well. So, thank you.
Okay. As mayor, I get to say something. So what started as a dream is now a reality. A little over 3 years ago, the ADA committee came before the council with a proposal to build an inclusionary park in Fairlawn. Several meetings followed as we spoke about site selection and cost. At that time, the park felt like a distant dream. But I remember the defining moment in a meeting with a young man named Michael, who came forward to speak. Michael is in a wheelchair, and he communicates through a laptop that goes to a speaker and speaks his words for him. That night, Michael felt and expressed how sad he was when he would go to playground when he was a young boy and watch the other kids play. Then he told us how oftentimes he would try to get closer, but his wheelchair would get stuck in the rubber mulch. He then added, it wasn't much fun. So the borough and the county of Bergen partnered with the ADA committee to bring this inclusionary park here to Berdan Grove. The road to get here wasn't easy, but the leadership provided by Mary Ann and Steve overcame every obstacle placed in our way. This committee has become the little committee that can. They have raised over $107,000 which makes their donations larger than that of the county and the borough. Not only did they raise the money for